All right, so moving on to a next card. Power of prayer. Prayer to the divine source should be part of your regular breakfast. Wait, what was it? A balanced. Wait, what? What's that commercial say? In America is like about like they would always have a glass of milk and a glass of orange juice and a freaking box of Cheerios and be like part of a complete balanced breakfast or whatever. Yeah, that. So, prayer to the divine source should be part of any medium's regular routine. Time and time again, the power of prayer is a vital tool to aid healing and confirm the love and support in our lives. Prayer comes in that moment of communion, when we open our hearts to a power greater than our own. Equally, prayers can be those quiet moments of solitude where we take time to listen from within. When it comes to developing mediumship, prayer is important for preparation. It is a powerful part of creating a loving and respectful link with spirit. You can do it as part of your meditation before any communication takes place prior to teaching or demonstrating. The power of prayer can provide strength, not just when times are tough, but especially when you need inspiration or guidance to keep you on the right track. Try not to pray just when you desire something, but instead take the time to give praise and gratitude. Never mind. Pray when you're at peace. Pray because you want to. Pray just to say hello to God. So pray to help you understand how it works all day, every day for me. Pray for the simple act of praying. If this card is calling you, it's time to take a moment and send up the love. Love. Simply speak from your heart to the divine source. Faith is key. Rest in knowing your prayers will be heard and honored, as always. Oh yes, we honor your prayers, but that doesn't mean we answer them. Never said anything about that, now did it? No. So yeah, power of prayer. Honestly, seems very what's the word? Not self. Seems like, yeah, explanatory, self-explanatory. Doing another one, moving right along. Let's get grounded. You're grounded. When you're working with spirit on a mediumistic level, you're vibrating at an altered state of awareness. It's important to remain grounded in your work as a medium, as this will strengthen your connection with spirit, enabling you to deliver clear, evidential, and concise communication. If you find yourself overly emotional, struggling to remain in the present, focusing on the future or the past, just feeling constantly tired, then it's time to get grounded. Try this. Take a calm, meditative breath into your root chakra. That sounds a little interesting. At the base of your spine. As you breathe into this area, notice how present you instantly feel. Well, I feel very present right now. As you continue this focused breathing routine, all thoughts of the future or past should start to diminish and disappear. Keep breathing as you remain in this moment of now. Regular practice. Wait, so it doesn't mean like breathe in through your butt, right? It means like breathe like you're breathing. Okay. I'm like, this is kind of odd, but I'm gonna roll with it. Anyways, regular practice with this simple breathing technique will also help build confidence in establishing and extending a stronger link with spirit. Other ways to become more grounded are to take a walk in nature, use aromatherapy. Oh, sorry. I was breathing up and I'm just kidding. Practice yoga or do body work. Anything that activates and invigorates the physical body is a great way to ground the body, mind, and soul. With practice, by remaining grounded, it will change not only your work with spirit, but also all aspects of your life. I already talked about being grounded in the last video, so I'm going to move on to another one, just like that. Flower power. Sweet. Flowers have a gentle way of touching our heart, our memories, and our soul. Their colors, shapes, fragrances, and beauty all provide hope and a sense of heartfelt inspiration. Flowers are capable of holding energy. Did you know that you can do a reading by holding a flower? It is important to experiment with different techniques when it comes to the development and unfoldment of your spiritual abilities. Flower clarsentience is another form of psychometry, the practice of using items infused with someone's energy. In this case, you're holding one of nature's beautiful living creations instead of a watch or a ring or so on. Yeah, but you've already killed it. Like, you've already cut it. It's dying, and you're holding it. Like, it's probably saying to you, thanks for cutting me, a-hole, I would think. But anyways, flowers are very sensitive and can absorb the energy of the person who has been holding on to them, enabling you to feel the energy that passed between two living things. Let's give this a try. Get a small group together. Tell everyone to bring a flower. Ask each person to take a few moments of being totally still, infusing the flower with their energy. Everyone should then place their flower in a vase that you've placed in another room. You, the medium, must not know who brought which flower until the exercise is completed. Choose a flower, begin the reading. You may receive psychic information or a loved one or a spirit loved one for the person. One single flower can act as a way to open the door to the spiritual realms. Partnership card, psychic touch. I wonder how many psychics know, not psychics, mediums know that you can pick up on somebody mediumistically who has not yet passed. Because on spirit side, or rather even better to say in the timeless side, because there's spirit side that's linear alongside Earth, but at a faster rate of which we operate. And then there's timeless. There's also timeless linear. Don't get me started on how that is different than timeless. Timeless, linear, and timeless are two different timelesses. When I say timeless, like timeless and collective reading, collective means whoever will hear it one day, ever, to include in the astral. Wrap your mind around that, you guys. And secondly, the idea of timeless means whenever they may hear it. But what I didn't know until recently is that it also means that whom I'm channeling may perhaps be channeling it from the future, and it's Z'd in. So they splice it in from the timeless. Whereas the timeless linear is like, we can do things like that, but we still have a linear progression of things. But true timeless means jumping around and the ability to do so. But you can only do that from the timeless. So you have to go to the timeless to do the timeless. Does that make sense? I don't know. But oh, here's psychic touch. Next card, and I didn't even know I hadn't done it. Didn't even think to check because I thought I'd done it in the past or something. All right, so energy is everywhere. You radiate energy, leaving traces of your presence everywhere. Psychometry is the practice of using items infused with someone's energy, enabling you to gain past and present information about that individual and future. Yeah, you would think. Items like jewelry, clothing, or even a chair can have a strong presence of someone's energy, a bit like a psychic imprint. This is a wonderful and easy technique to practice when you're developing your psychic and mediumship skills. To start, sit with someone and ask to hold an item of importance that belonged to the person's loved one in spirit. Open your awareness and allow your consciousness to connect with the item, and then feel if the spirit loved one who owned the item will make their presence known. When working with spirit, it's important to bring in evidence that can be validated to confirm the message you give. As you hold the item, see if you can sense the relationship of the spirit to the sitter. Perhaps you can sense what they like to do for a hobby or their career. Notice any physical details about the spirit that may come forward. Reach out to this spirit and see if you can connect with a name that's significant. When practicing with mediumship, don't be afraid to share every little detail of what you're receiving. You'll be surprised by the validation you may receive. You can also practice this technique with an object belonging to someone living. Partnership cards are Clairaudience, Clarsentience, and Clairvoyance. Let's see if any of these three have not yet been done. We're just rolling through them in this one. Yeah, here's Clarsentience. So, moving on to that. Oops. Clarsentience is the most natural of all the psychic sentences, huh? It feels like a sentence being here, does it not, on this earth? in this earth. It is the ability to sense the emotions or feelings of other people, animals, and your surroundings, as well as spirit people. Don't underestimate the power of clairsentience. It can assist you in all areas of your life and enhance your connection with spirit. Our bodies act as one big psychic antenna. When meeting someone for the first time, most of us have a gut response, or when walking into a room, it's possible to feel vibrations. When a medium is working and using their ability of clairsentience, they're able to feel or sense the spirit's energy. Whether it's male, female, young, or old, and the nature of the illness that might have taken the spirit to the other side. The medium should be able to describe the spirit's personality and their mannerisms, and in some cases take on the characteristics of the spirit. This is the most common way most mediums work, and there are no limits to what the spirit can make the medium sense. Clairsentience is felt through the solar plexus center. You can strengthen this ability by practicing daily. Focus on your solar plexus center and ask yourself what you're feeling. What am I feeling? I heard hungry, but I didn't feel hungry, and that's weird. Are you hungry? Go eat something. Be sure to do this when meeting someone new or making an important decision. When you start asking how you're feeling, tuning into your solar plexus and paying attention, the psychic ability will strengthen and grow. There's some M dashes in here. It's kind of weird. Did you use AI for this in 2020? I don't know. Anyways, blending with spirit and the invisible shield are also partner cards. So let's see. Okay, I know. So that's to conclude this series of cards of this reading. But don't think that I am done yet. I still have more to say, because so if this is talking about feeling and sensing, that's not the same as empathy, right? Isn't? Yeah, maybe it is. Maybe it is. I don't know. Don't quote me on that one. But from what I know is that, hold on, let me look at this again for what it's saying to do. It's talking about taking on their personality and mannerisms and characteristics of the spirit. So that's clairsentience, I guess. Okay. And what you're feeling. What are you feeling or sensing? Male, female, young, or old. To me, that's not feeling. That's figuring out, okay, maybe it's like this. I feel like I'm grumpy and I'm like older and I'm like got a lot of pain and this and that. Like, it's like that, as opposed to literal feelings like, oh, I feel sad, I feel happy. Feeling grumpy as a personality trait, as opposed to I feel grumpy. See the difference? Like, I show up to the table completely having processed through my shit, blank slate, no emotions, no thoughts, nada. So you start that way, right? Like, I don't have anything. Okay, cool. Now what? All of a sudden I feel this or that. But I don't feel hungry. But do you? Because if so, I need to know. You tell me. No, I am freaking starving. I forgot to eat lunch or whatever, or something, right? Because then I go, validation. I know it ain't me. In fact, I learned a little trick I can tell you guys called suppress hunger. So let's say I gotta work, meaning I gotta work mediumistically. And I'm not gonna not eat indefinitely, but I need to curb it to get out this message or whatever I'm doing. So I say, suppress hunger. Who or what suppressed my hunger? That's for you to decide. I know. And, whatever. But it is temporary. In fact, you can even put a parameter on it and say, suppress hunger temporarily until it's done, then bring it back so that it reminds me. Because, I need the cue to remind me. Nobody's going to eat if they don't feel hungry, right? And so sometimes our hunger to brain, stomach to brain, gut to mind connection as a human is broken. Like my son, who is 7 and is getting skinnier, because if you don't feel hungry, you're not going to eat, right? That's the idea. No, he'll want to eat junk, but he doesn't want to eat. And sometimes he won't even want anything to eat because he's like, I don't feel hungry. Didn't know until we started putting him on medication that made him feel hungry, that he didn't know what hunger felt like. And it's hard for me to explain this to people. Like, I don't know if anybody else would get it, but it's like this. The very first day he took the medicine, he just kept eating and eating and eating. And he ate so much his tummy hurt. And he's like, what is this feeling? I've never felt this before. He's like, I don't like this feeling. The kid never freaking had eaten that much before in his life. And yeah, it sucks because he ate to the point of it being uncomfortable. I don't ever want to feel like this again. No, I get that. But yet, I'm going, oh my God, this kid didn't even know. Because he would only think, he thought mentally that hungry means starving. He's thinking, if I'm not starving, I'm not hungry. And I'm like, no, there's a spectrum here from, nah, I'm not hungry at all, to, I could eat, to, I'm hungry, to, I'm fucking hungry, to, I'm hangry, to, I'm starving, to, I'm now beyond that. He would wait till I'm now beyond that to even agree to eat. And I'm like, dude, you don't wait until you're dying to eat. And don't think it didn't go through my mind that maybe he was like just not noticing because he was too busy playing and stuff. No, it was a literal thing where I'd be like, what do you want to eat? Nothing. You have to eat something. But I'm not hungry. I know, but you still have to eat something. Why? Look at you. You're freaking skinny. I can see your bones. You need to eat food. But I don't want to eat anything. So I'm like, okay, I know these are the foods he likes. I'm going to make him some. Refusing to eat. I'm like, oh, something's got to change. Go to the doctor, right? She says, well, he seems to be gaining weight. He doesn't really need the hungry medicine anymore. Now he's freaking skinny again. He needs the freaking hungry medicine. It's something that I don't really understand. But as a parent who I consider myself to be an intuitive parent, I don't know how to fix things sometimes, but I know there's something wrong. And I might not know exactly what's wrong, but I have a good enough idea to know that if this worked in the past, why stop something when it's working, And that's kind of how I feel about the whole thing. So, had some hungry medicine left over, started it back up, gonna make him another appointment, gonna get him back on it, prescribed, and figure out what to do, because he started getting skin and bones. And it's like, dude, I, because of clairsentience, can pick up on my kid very well, more than, because the word hungry came through, so this is how I ended up on this topic. But it's like, what if you're like a medical medium, a medical intuitive? Medical medium, medical intuitive, same thing, not literal. Medium implies, and I do mean that quite literally, that you're communicating with those who have crossed over. Although medium generally really just means the bridge between the two worlds of spirit and the living, Spirit doesn't necessarily mean dead. It could be spirit guides and shit too. But still, my spirit guides don't give me medical advice for people, but they could, and they can. They generally don't. And I would prefer to leave that up to somebody else who's maybe in the medical field, who can be medical intuitive, way better than I could. But that's not to say that I couldn't be helpful in that field if and when the time would arise or whatever, you know. So yeah. And if you guys have any issues like that of your own, where you know somebody that, you know, has that issue, I'm telling you, man, some people don't, not everybody is textbook the same. And that's really what this is all about anyway. It's figuring out everybody's particulars to help them best. There is no one size fits all for spirituality. That's an understatement. And, you know, the way that I work with my spiritual abilities, though I tell you guys in a way that's like, hey, you know, maybe this will work for you too. Maybe it won't. I don't know. I just know that it does work for me. And if you're anything like me, it might work that way for you too. Can't hurt, right? In theory. So yeah. All right, I will leave it at that, you guys. I got a few more of these to do, and I'm going to just see, maybe knock them out tonight.